Chapter 1. The Ancient City of Babylon and the Hanging Gardens. The ancient city of Babylon, located in present-day Iraq, was once one of the most powerful cities in the ancient world. Known for its remarkable architecture, its strategic position along the Euphrates River, and its rich cultural history, Babylon was a symbol of wealth, power, and knowledge in the ancient Near East. Babylon's influence and splendor left an indelible mark on history, particularly during the reign of King Nebuchadnezzar II, whose contributions to the city's development and grandeur earned it a legendary status. Babylon's origins trace back to around 2300 BCE, though it was not until the reign of Hammurabi, around 1792 to 1750 BCE, that it became a prominent center of power. Hammurabi, the sixth king of the first Babylonian dynasty, is best known for codifying one of the earliest and most complete written legal systems, the Code of Hammurabi. This legal code laid the groundwork for future legal systems, emphasizing justice and order in society. Under Hammurabi's rule, Babylon became a dominant force in Mesopotamia, overseeing a period of political and economic prosperity. However, it was during Nebuchadnezzar II's reign in the 6th century BCE that Babylon reached its peak. Nebuchadnezzar, known for his military conquests and extensive building projects, transformed Babylon into a magnificent city. It became the jewel of the ancient world, a city so rich in splendor and architectural marvels that it captivated the imagination of future generations. One of the most iconic and legendary features of Babylon was the Hanging Gardens, often listed as one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. These gardens, however, remain shrouded in mystery, as no definitive archaeological evidence has ever confirmed their existence. The gardens were supposedly built by Nebuchadnezzar II for his wife Amytis, who longed for the green hills and lush landscapes of her homeland in Media, a region in modern-day Iran. In response, Nebuchadnezzar is said to have ordered the construction of a grand terraced garden that could simulate a mountain landscape, complete with an elaborate irrigation system to support the lush vegetation. The Hanging Gardens were said to have been built on an artificial mountain, with layers of terraces supported by a series of massive stone columns. Each terrace was filled with a variety of plants, trees, and flowers, and the entire structure was irrigated by a complex system of pumps and aqueducts. Water was raised from the Euphrates River and carried up to the gardens through a series of chain pumps, creating a breathtaking, cascading display of greenery. Despite the awe-inspiring descriptions found in ancient texts, no definitive evidence of the Hanging Gardens has been found at the site of Babylon. Some historians believe that the gardens may have been located in the ancient city of Nineveh, in northern Mesopotamia, rather than in Babylon. Others suggest that the gardens could have been an embellishment in ancient writings, or a misunderstanding of Babylonian architecture. Regardless of their physical existence, the legend of the Hanging Gardens endures as a symbol of the grandeur and ambition of Nebuchadnezzar's reign. In addition to the Hanging Gardens, Nebuchadnezzar oversaw the construction of other monumental buildings, including the Ishtar Gate, one of the most famous and elaborate gates in the ancient world. The Ishtar Gate, adorned with images of dragons, bulls, and other mythological creatures, was a stunning example of Babylonian art and architecture. The gate was part of a larger ceremonial entrance to the city, which also included a grand processional way decorated with images of lions. The walls of Babylon were another testament to the city's power and engineering prowess. These massive walls, which were said to have been over 80 feet high and 25 feet thick, were designed to protect the city from invasion. The walls were equipped with massive gates and watchtowers, making Babylon one of the most fortified cities of the ancient world. Babylon's influence extended far beyond its physical walls. The city was a center of learning and culture, attracting scholars, artists, and philosophers from across the ancient world. The Babylonians made significant contributions to mathematics, astronomy, and literature. Their development of a sophisticated system of mathematics based on the number 60 laid the groundwork for the modern concept of time and angles. In astronomy, the Babylonians were among the first to recognize the cycles of the moon and the stars, and they developed detailed astronomical charts. Their knowledge of the heavens would later influence Greek and Roman astronomers, shaping the course of scientific discovery in the ancient world. Babylon's cultural legacy is also reflected in its literature. The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the oldest surviving works of literature, originates from the region and was passed down through generations. This epic poem, which tells the story of the king Gilgamesh and his quest for immortality, offers a glimpse into the beliefs and values of the ancient Babylonians. The fall of Babylon came in 539 BCE when it was conquered by the Persian king Cyrus the Great. The city's wealth and splendor were eventually overshadowed by the rise of other empires, and Babylon fell into decline over the centuries. Today, the ruins of Babylon serve as a reminder of the grandeur and ambition of one of the most powerful cities in history. In conclusion, the ancient city of Babylon and the Hanging Gardens stand as symbols of human ingenuity and the quest for beauty and grandeur. Whether or not the Hanging Gardens ever existed as described in ancient texts, their legend continues to captivate the imagination of people today. The achievements of Babylon, from its architectural wonders to its contributions to science and culture, remain an enduring testament to the greatness of one of the ancient world's most influential cities. Chapter 2: The Viking Age and Their Exploration of the New World. The Viking Age, which spanned from the late 8th century to the early 11th century, was a period of intense exploration, conquest, and cultural exchange. The Vikings, seafaring Norsemen from Scandinavia, are often remembered for their raids on Europe, but their influence extended far beyond the shores of the continent. The Vikings were pioneers of exploration, venturing into distant lands, trading, and even establishing settlements in regions as far-reaching as North America. The Viking Age is often thought to have begun in 793 CE with the infamous raid on the monastery at Lindisfarne, located on an island off the coast of England. The attack was swift and brutal, and it marked the start of a series of Viking incursions into the British Isles and beyond. The Vikings' advanced naval technology and their fierce, determined warriors made them a formidable force, and they quickly gained a reputation for their raids on monasteries, towns, and cities across Europe. But while the Vikings are often associated with violent conquest, their legacy is far more complex. The Vikings were also traders, explorers, and settlers who established colonies and built intricate networks of trade and diplomacy. Their longships, which were fast, versatile vessels capable of navigating both open seas and shallow rivers, played a crucial role in their ability to explore and settle new lands. One of the most remarkable aspects of Viking exploration was their discovery of the New World, nearly 500 years before Christopher Columbus. Around the year 1000 CE, a Viking explorer named Leif Erikson sailed across the North Atlantic and reached the shores of North America, specifically a region he called Vinland, believed to be located in what is now Newfoundland, Canada. Leif Erikson was the son of Eric the Red, the founder of the first Norse settlement in Greenland. Leif's journey to North America is recorded in the Saga of the Greenlanders and the Saga of Eric the Red, two Icelandic texts that provide a detailed account of Viking exploration. According to the sagas, Leif set sail from Greenland with a crew of 35 men, seeking new lands and opportunities for settlement. After months of sailing, Leif and his crew reached the shores of what they called Vinland, where they found an abundance of natural resources, including fertile land and timber. The Vikings established a small settlement there, which they used as a base for further exploration and trade. While the exact location of Vinland remains a subject of debate among historians, the discovery of the site at Lons aux Meadows in Newfoundland in the 1960s provided definitive archaeological evidence that the Vikings reached North America long before Columbus. The Viking settlement at Lons aux Meadows was a crucial find, as it confirmed that the Vikings were the first known Europeans to set foot in North America. The settlement, which dates to around 1000 CE, consists of a series of sod huts and artifacts, including Viking-style tools, suggesting that the site was used for a variety of purposes, including trade, exploration, and possibly even fishing. While the Vikings' presence in North America was short-lived, their journey across the Atlantic was a remarkable feat of navigation and exploration. The Vikings' ability to travel such long distances and establish settlements in distant lands demonstrated their advanced maritime skills and their willingness to take risks in the pursuit of new opportunities. In addition to their exploration of the New World, the Vikings also made significant contributions to the development of Europe. They established powerful kingdoms in Scandinavia, including Denmark, Norway, and Sweden, and their influence extended to the British Isles, where they founded the Danelaw, a Viking-controlled region in England. The Vikings also established settlements in France, Ireland, and parts of what is now Russia, where they traded goods, established political alliances, and integrated with local cultures. The Vikings were not just warriors, they were also skilled craftsmen, shipbuilders, and traders. Their longships were marvels of engineering, capable of carrying up to 60 men and navigating both open seas and narrow rivers. These ships were used for both raiding and trade, and they allowed the Vikings to establish vast networks of commerce across Europe and beyond. The Vikings' impact on the world was far-reaching, and their exploration of new lands laid the groundwork for future voyages of discovery. Although their presence in North America was brief, their journey marked the beginning of an age of exploration that would eventually lead to the European colonization of the Americas. In conclusion, the Viking Age was a period of remarkable achievement, with the Vikings' exploration of the New World standing out as one of their most significant accomplishments. Their voyages across the Atlantic demonstrate the Vikings' resilience, skill, and adventurous spirit. Whether as raiders, traders, or explorers, the Vikings left an enduring legacy that shaped the course of history and contributed to the development of Europe and the world. Chapter 3. The Fall of Constantinople, 1453. The fall of Constantinople in 1453 was one of the most significant events in world history, marking the end of the Byzantine Empire and the beginning of the Ottoman Empire's dominance over southeastern Europe. For centuries, Constantinople had stood as the heart of the Eastern Roman Empire, a beacon of Christianity, culture, and trade. Its fall to the Ottoman Turks, led by Sultan Mehmed II, dramatically reshaped the political, cultural, and religious landscape of Europe and the Middle East. Constantinople, known as Byzantium before its renaming by Emperor Constantine the Great in 330 CE, had been the capital of the Byzantine Empire for over a millennium. It was strategically located on the Bosporus Strait, which connected the Mediterranean and Black Seas, making it a key hub for trade and military activity. The city's position also gave it control over the crucial crossroads between Europe and Asia. By the 15th century, however, the Byzantine Empire had significantly weakened. After centuries of military defeats, internal strife, and the loss of territory, the empire had shrunk to just the city of Constantinople and its immediate surroundings. The Byzantine Empire had long been a shadow of its former self, and its defense relied on dwindling resources, outdated technology, and the loyalty of its allies. The Ottoman Empire, meanwhile, was rapidly expanding under the leadership of Sultan Mehmed II, known as Mehmed the Conqueror. By the early 1450s, the Ottomans had already established control over much of the Balkans and Asia Minor, and they had set their sights on the final prize, Constantinople itself. Mehmed II understood the importance of Constantinople not only as a strategic military target, but also as a symbol of Christian power in the region. The city had been the capital of the Byzantine Empire, and its capture would be a decisive blow to Christianity in the East. For the Ottomans, the fall of Constantinople would secure their dominance in the Mediterranean and solidify their claim to be the rightful heirs of the Roman Empire. The siege of Constantinople began in April 1453, when Mehmed II assembled a massive army of approximately 80,000 soldiers and laid siege to the city. The defenders of Constantinople, led by Emperor Constantine Duthinton Palaiologos, numbered around 7,000, a fraction of the size of the Ottoman force. The Byzantine defenders were determined to hold the city, but they were vastly outnumbered and lacked the resources to resist for long. The Ottomans employed cutting-edge military tactics and technology to breach the city's formidable defenses. One of the most notable innovations was the use of massive cannons, including a giant cannon that could fire stones weighing several hundred pounds. These cannons were able to smash through the walls of Constantinople, which had stood for over 1,000 years. The Byzantine defenders fought valiantly, but their efforts were in vain. Despite the desperate pleas for help sent to the west, no significant reinforcements arrived in time. The Pope had promised aid, but political divisions and the ongoing conflict between Eastern and Western Christianity prevented any meaningful assistance from reaching Constantinople. After weeks of intense fighting, the Ottoman forces breached the walls of the city on May 29, 1453. The defenders put up a final stand, but they were overwhelmed by the Ottoman troops. Emperor Constantine X, refusing to surrender, died in battle, marking the end of the Byzantine Empire. The fall of Constantinople had far-reaching consequences. For the Ottomans, it was a momentous victory, and the city became the new capital of the Ottoman Empire, renamed Istanbul. The Ottomans went on to expand their empire further into Europe, Asia, and Africa, and their influence in the region would last for centuries. The fall of Constantinople also marked the end of the Middle Ages and the beginning of the Renaissance in Europe. The loss of the city was a significant blow to Christianity in the East, but it also led to a cultural exchange between the East and West. As scholars fled Constantinople in the wake of the Ottoman conquest, many brought with them priceless manuscripts and knowledge that helped fuel the Renaissance. The fall of Constantinople thus became a catalyst for the revival of classical learning in Western Europe. In conclusion, the fall of Constantinople in 1453 was a pivotal event that reshaped the course of history. It marked the end of the Byzantine Empire and the rise of the Ottoman Empire, altering the balance of power in the Mediterranean and beyond. The event also played a significant role in the cultural and intellectual transformation of Europe, paving the way for the Renaissance and the Age of Exploration. Chapter 4: The Construction of the Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is one of the most iconic and enduring symbols of Chinese history and culture. Stretching over 13,000 miles across northern China, the Great Wall was built over several centuries to protect the Chinese Empire from invasions by nomadic tribes from the north. The wall is not a single continuous structure, but rather a series of walls and fortifications that were constructed by different dynasties at different times in history. The origins of the Great Wall date back to the 7th century BCE, during the Warring States period in China. At that time, various states and kingdoms were engaged in constant warfare, and the need for defense against nomadic invaders was a pressing concern. The first walls were constructed by individual states to protect their borders from raids by the Xiongnu, and other nomadic tribes from the north. These early walls were relatively simple structures made of earth, wood, and other local materials. They were not as elaborate or durable as the walls that would later be built during the Ming Dynasty, but they laid the groundwork for the larger project that would follow. The Warring States period walls were often connected by smaller fortresses and watchtowers, providing a defense system that allowed soldiers to monitor enemy movements and respond quickly to threats. The most famous sections of the Great Wall, however, were built during the Ming Dynasty, 1368-1644, a period in which the wall was significantly expanded and reinforced. The Ming rulers faced a growing threat from the Mongol tribes to the north, and they decided to build a massive fortified wall to protect their empire. This construction project was one of the most ambitious in Chinese history, and it required the labor of hundreds of thousands of workers over several decades. The Ming Great Wall was built using a variety of materials, including brick, stone, and tamped earth. The wall itself was often more than 20 feet high and as much as 30 feet wide in some sections. Watchtowers and garrison stations were built at regular intervals along the wall, allowing soldiers to monitor the movement of enemy forces and respond quickly to any incursions. The wall was not a single continuous line of defense, but rather a series of walls, fortresses, and watchtowers connected by smaller walls and dikes. The wall was designed to be flexible and adaptable to the changing landscape, with some sections running along mountain ridges and others following river valleys. The construction of the Great Wall was an immense undertaking that required a massive workforce. Laborers were often conscripted from all regions of the empire, and many of them worked in harsh conditions, facing extreme weather, difficult terrain, and the constant threat of enemy attack. Many workers died during the construction of the wall, and some historians have even referred to the Great Wall as a tomb of the workers. Despite the challenges, the Great Wall was ultimately completed and stood as one of the most impressive military defenses in the world. It was a symbol of China's strength and determination to protect its borders from foreign invaders. The Great Wall also played a crucial role in shaping China's political and cultural identity, serving as a physical manifestation of the empire's desire for security and stability. In conclusion, the Great Wall of China is a remarkable feat of engineering and human effort. Built over several centuries and by multiple dynasties, the wall stands as a testament to China's enduring strength and resilience in the face of external threats. Today, the Great Wall is one of the most recognized landmarks in the world, drawing millions of visitors each year who come to witness the awe-inspiring scale and beauty of this ancient structure. Chapter 5: The Scientific Revolution and its Transformative Discoveries. The Scientific Revolution, which spanned the 16th and 17th centuries, was a period of profound change in the way humans understood the natural world. It marked the beginning of modern science and laid the foundation for many of the discoveries and advancements that would shape the course of history. The revolution transformed not only scientific thought, but also the social, political, and cultural landscape of Europe and the world. The roots of the scientific revolution can be traced back to the late Middle Ages and the Renaissance, a time of renewed interest in classical knowledge and a growing emphasis on observation, experimentation, and the questioning of traditional beliefs. However, it was during the 16th and 17th centuries that scientific thinking truly began to evolve, driven by groundbreaking discoveries and the work of visionary scientists. One of the key figures in the scientific revolution was Nicolaus Copernicus, a Polish astronomer who proposed the heliocentric theory of the solar system. Before Copernicus, the prevailing belief, based on the teachings of the ancient Greek philosopher Ptolemy, was that the Earth was the center of the universe, and all celestial bodies revolved around it. This geocentric model was widely accepted for centuries, But Copernicus challenged this view in his groundbreaking work, De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, on the revolutions of the celestial spheres, published in 1543. Copernicus's heliocentric model placed the Sun at the center of the solar system, with the Earth and other planets revolving around it. While his ideas were controversial and initially met with resistance from the Catholic Church, they would eventually pave the way for future discoveries in astronomy. One of the most influential figures of the scientific revolution was Galileo Galilei, an Italian astronomer, physicist, and engineer who made several revolutionary contributions to science. Galileo's improvements to the telescope and his observations of the night sky provided strong evidence for the heliocentric model proposed by Copernicus. He observed the moons of Jupiter, the phases of Venus, and the craters on the moon, all of which contradicted the geocentric model and supported the idea of a sun-centered solar system. Galileo's discoveries were groundbreaking, but they also brought him into conflict with the Catholic Church, which had long upheld the geocentric model. In 1633, Galileo was tried by the Inquisition and forced to recant his views, although his work continued to influence future generations of scientists. Another key figure in the scientific revolution was Johannes Kepler, a German astronomer who built on Copernicus's heliocentric theory and formulated the laws of planetary motion. Kepler's laws demonstrated that the planets move in elliptical orbits around the Sun, not in perfect circles as previously thought. His work provided further evidence for the heliocentric model and laid the foundation for the later discoveries of Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton, the English mathematician and physicist, is often considered one of the most important figures in the scientific revolution. His groundbreaking work, Philosophiae Naturalis Principia Mathematica, Mathematical Principles of Natural Philosophy, published in 1687, introduced the laws of motion and universal gravitation, which became the cornerstone of classical mechanics. Newton's laws of motion explained how objects move and interact with one another, while his law of universal gravitation showed that all objects, regardless of size, are attracted to one another by a force of gravity. Newton's work unified the laws of physics and mathematics, providing a comprehensive framework for understanding the natural world. The scientific revolution also saw major advancements in the fields of chemistry, biology, and medicine. Figures such as Robert Boyle, the founder of modern chemistry, and Andreas Vesalius, a pioneer in the study of human anatomy, made significant contributions to the understanding of matter and the human body. Boyle's work on the properties of gases and the development of Boyle's law helped lay the foundation for the modern field of chemistry. Vesalius, meanwhile, conducted detailed dissections of human bodies, challenging traditional anatomical theories and providing a more accurate understanding of the human form. In conclusion, the scientific revolution was a transformative period in human history that reshaped our understanding of the natural world. The work of scientists like Copernicus, Galileo, Kepler, and Newton revolutionized fields such as astronomy, physics, and chemistry, and their discoveries continue to influence science and technology today.